Hello and welcome to episode 21 of the Live Wire Gaming Show. We were going to do The Last of Us Part 2 review this week, seeing as it's a year later since it came out, but we got lazy, so we're going to talk about Destiny Season of the Splicer instead. Before we get into that,
say we were going to wait for Season of Splicer to kick in. Splicer.
Yeah. We were going to do Season of Splicer a couple of weeks ago, and then E3 kicked off and Summer Game Fest, so we thought, look, that's the relevant topic, so we'll cover that. Before we get into Season of the Splicer and moaning about Destiny, like Destiny players love to do, I won't be.
Yeah.
Then we'll have our weekly catch-up. How is everyone this week, and what have you guys been up to?
Stephen, take it away, because I have been up to a shitload, and I don't want to just hog it for the next 40 minutes.
No, go for it. Let's hear it. Go on. Let's hear this. What have you been up to?
Put the pressure on there. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Today I got a PS5. That's my big news. That's it. I'm just going to talk about that for 40 minutes.
Yeah. Congrats. You've joined the PS5 race. Let's go.
Yeah, 6 months
I do have to say, before you deep dive into your PS5 bragging, like, I've been super impressed by the quality of stuff on PlayStation 5 in recent weeks. Like, the gap between this generation of consoles and high-end PC gaming is not as much as it was in last gen, so the PS4, Xbox One generation. Like, the new consoles are really impressive, what they can do. And that's coming from someone who owns both. I have no preference. Well, I do have a preference. It's obviously my PC, but I have no bias. Because I enjoy games. But like, they're super impressive. They really, really are.
Oh, so you have a high-end PC, so it's not like you're comparing a potato PC to a PS5. Like, you actually have something of comparison.
A level.
And I agree, and I've been saying that for the last few weeks. Yeah. Like it's amazing.
Don't get me wrong. If just to pull one game out, Cyberpunk on console does not compare to Cyberpunk on PC, because PCs they have the extra power, that's obvious. But I think the consoles this generation are really good at hiding where they are falling back, and they really show off what they do. They really lean into their strong points. Sorry, Dil. Continue now.
No, I think sorry, I'm going to jump in on that. I think the PS5 upgrade for Cyberpunk will be an interesting one.
Yes,
because
I'm interested.
That will show the real comparison and the difference, because with Spider-Man getting some form of ray tracing and the 60 FPS, will we see something similar in Cyberpunk, like a ray trace 30 frames per second? Or will we get...
I think we're going to get what Ratchet and Clank has. So if you're not aware, Ratchet and Clank has 3 modes. It has 30 FPS, 4K, full ray tracing, all the shiny stuff. When you stand still, it's the best thing you'll ever look at. It has a performance mode, which is 4K 60, no ray tracing, none of the fancy stuff. It still looks beautiful, by the way. And then it has a performance ray tracing mode. So it is a constant 60, and it has ray tracing, but not as deep the ray tracing as the quality mode. But that performance with ray tracing mode is fantastic, and that's what I'm playing at. And that's what you should play at. And I think that's what Cyberpunk will do. They will have a performance ray tracing where you won't have full ray tracing, but it'll still look really, really good, and it will have enough. It's basically ray tracing with DLSS enabled versus ray tracing with no DLSS enabled.
But it's nice to have that choice as well, because you know what you're getting. When you change the mode, you know you're dampening your ability of, or the quality of the and
I think on a fucking console, like
and that's what I think. That's the big thing with consoles this generation is choice. You have the choice now, and it started to seep in towards the end of the PS4 era. I know God of War had something. It was 30 or not quite 30. Or no, it was not quite 30 or nowhere near close to 30. I think Ghost of Tsushima might have had one. I think The Last of Us Part 2 had one as well. But you're getting the choices now on console that PC have had for a long time. Like Ratchet and Clank has a motion blur feature. Turn it on or off. Off. Always turn motion blur off.
Yeah, don't know.
It has film. It has film grain. It has depth of field stuff. These are stuff, by the way.
Just generic PC settings.
Just turn them off. But yeah, you're getting more choices on console, and it's fantastic.
I mean, all we wanted was a FOV slider in Destiny.
I mean, if you start talking about FOV sliders, that's a whole other topic.
Yeah,
that's what will make or break Cyberpunk on PS5 for me. Is a PSV slider, an FOV slider. If there's no
Does
FOV
it offer
slider,
it now?
No,
Does not. Okay,
no, it's not.
Now, see, that's the thing. I'm playing Cyberpunk through the PC. I don't have it for PS4, so I don't necessarily want to get it for PS5. Mainly because I'm like 60% of the way through the story anyway, so I don't want to have to restart it again. But I'm really excited because I am playing a few last-gen titles. Like I'm finishing off Horizon, I'm playing Avengers, I've been playing Destiny as well. So jumping straight into those games on PS5, I'm dying to see the changes. Like
you're gonna love Destiny on PS5.
Oh, I can't wait.
Like,
cannot wait.
Yeah.
It's massive. Like,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people get bogged down in but the graphics aren't that much better. No, because graphics in games have got to a certain point where they do look great, and they're gonna look great. And that's the difference. The new consoles perform so well in comparison to their predecessors. Like they really do, and that's down to a lot of down to the SSDs that they have in there that process everything super fucking fast. But like, I'm looking forward to you getting it because
just to see the difference.
I think,
for example, playing Avengers just this afternoon, in high volume areas it gets very jittery. You know, the SSD is fucking going overdrive. It's like Garden. Remember Garden on PS4?
No,
I experienced Garden on PS4. Fucking what's his name? Whatever the consecrated mind or the distortionate mind, whatever his name is, when he goes into his fucking moving phase, it's just crash central. That's what it feels like, and you're pressing attacks. It's taking that extra couple of seconds latency because the game is just fucking overheated. You've got a jet engine sitting in front of you, and it's not a great experience. So I'm dying to just see that.
Yeah, I think you're getting it at a really good time. Like, me and Steven were obviously fortunate to get one around launch. And that was great, by the way. It was fantastic to have one, and I'm not complaining. But, like, Spider-Man, Miles Morales, and Demon's Souls kind of blew us away with how well they looked. But you're coming in at a time now where Ratchet & Clank has come out, and Ratchet & Clank has no right to look as good as it looks.
Yeah.
And there's a lot more PS5 upgraded versions. Like The Last of Us Part 2 has a PS5 upgraded version, which it needed it. From playing it in 30 FPS was painful. I think Ghost of Tsushima has an upgraded version now as well. Or I don't know if that has an upgraded version, or if you just play it on the PS4 version and the PS5 runs it better anyway. I'm not sure which way it is.
Yeah.
That was just beautiful anyway.
Exactly, yeah. God of War has an upgraded version, so yeah, there's a lot there to play. Obviously, then you've got your games that like Apex, Destiny that just play better on it anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, how have you been? What have you been up to?
That kind of tangented.
It's a good chat. It's a good chat.
You got a PS5 anyway.
Got a PS5 today. Had 5 devices logged in the queue.
And the
Kev goes, hold my beer. Kev goes in and gets it. We get disconnected. Fucking told, nah, sorry, sold out. So if it wasn't for Kev, I wouldn't be.
Do you know what?
Happy right now.
It was like a VAR decision. It was like the linesman flagged offside. The goal got disallowed.
I was like, hold.
The referee checked it on VAR, and you got given the goal like Karen Benzema last night.
Yeah, I'm so excited. Like I can't wait to play it. Like I think Rifts Apart will be my first experience because of obviously it's coming with the console. But just to port over the likes of Destiny, like I said, Apex, and just to see and playing Avengers on PS Now as well, and just to have that firsthand, just literally one day before I'm playing it on shit quality, and then the next day it's just PC quality. I'm dying for that. But so taking me into what I've been playing this week, completed Avengers.
At least one of us has played something this week, by the way. I'd like to say that.
I've had a nice variety of week. Played Avengers, like I was saying, it was very jittery at times. Do you know what it was? I was looking for faults because of how much it got slammed, and I can see where people were kind of focusing on. Like a lot of the level design is very samey. Like a lot of it takes place in the Utah desert. They're these AIM facilities, so it's kind of canyon-esque with a lot of kind of compounds in the middle. But just traversing the terrain as the different characters is just great. Like flying as Iron Man and flying as Thor and fucking being Hulk and just doing your jumps and your slams and shit. It's great because of the IP, but if it wasn't for the IP, it would be terrible. And I think that's what it was that kind of kept me playing, because I was just like, holy shit, I'm playing as Captain America. I'm playing as fucking Thor. This is class. Like you're doing their combos, you're doing their finishers and stuff like that, and it is really cool. But the storytelling was the high point. Like definitely, it was an introduction to Miss Marvel, who is gonna be making an appearance in the next Captain Marvel, and she's getting a TV show spin-off as well. So it does enough on the story to make you want to explore her character more. So I'm tempted to like pick up and start reading about her in a few graphic novels. But just the storytelling alone was just the peak
I did
of
hear
it.
that, to be fair. I did hear that.
Like 100%.
The storytelling and the character movesets are the strong points of the game. It's everything else is terrible.
Yeah, like the cutscenes.
Average.
That was one thing I really liked. The cutscenes weren't procedurally generated. There was no CGI cutscenes. Well, there was a handful, but it was the majority was the in-game build kind of interactions and stuff. And that was actually done very well, like transition-wise and stuff. And just the relationships between characters was
wait till you
so
play
well.
Ratchet and Clank. That's all
I know,
I'm saying.
I can't wait.
Holy
really can't.
shit. That's all
But
I'm saying.
if anyone was to play it to experience it, just play it for the story. Like it's 15 hours or so, if even, like 10 to 15, I'd say you could burn through it. But just the story alone was great. So there's 2 DLCs I think out at the moment. So I'm gonna give them a whack. I might hold off until the PS5 to start the second one. But like I could see the whole battle pass for each character, like skins and stuff like that. If you did deep dive into that section of it, you would be rightly pissed off because everything is locked behind the paywall. Like I started the campaign with Thor in a fucking t-shirt and jeans, and I finished the campaign with Thor in a t-shirt and jeans. Because like now there was a good aspect where when you first unlock a character, so you can only play as Miss Marvel and then Hulk, and then it progresses you through the story. When you play your first mission with each character, it unlocks a mission chain, and at the end of that mission chain for each character, you can unlock their iconic looks and stuff, which is cool. So you're basically getting one free.
The first one's free. It's how you get them in.
Yeah, and then you can buy your battle passes
dealing
and shit
techniques
like that. But if it wasn't for that, it would be a great game. Which I'm excited for Guardians even more now.
Yeah, so it seems like they learned their lesson. Square Enix learned their lessons for Guardians. Well, we'll see. Hopefully they did.
And it can still be rejuvenated, I think.
Any changes, that's the only thing with Avengers, is any changes they have made to it has been negative. So they made it more grindy. They made it you level up slower rather than like make it easier to level up. Like, so what people get these movesets quicker, let people level up at a decent pace. That you're not finished the game 20 hours ago before you can max out a character.
Before you get, I finished the game on green armor, and it was kind of like, you can boost your armor.
It's the Destiny 1 issue.
And stuff.
Yeah,
but it's just the whole, like, I don't want to waste my components and materials on this because it's only green or it's only blue. I'm waiting for my purples and then exotics or whatever. But that never came.
It doesn't exactly.
But if I was looking for that as my sole game, I'd be pissed off. But I was just playing it for the story. And I think if you go in with the not saying have no expectations, but if you go in looking for a good story, you'll get a good story. So yeah, I finished that. I'm gonna jump on to part 2, hopefully on PS5 next week. I've been playing Outer Worlds on Switch. Yeah, of all things, I know. It started off. It was on they had a sale last week. Nintendo 70% off a lot of things.
Wait, Nintendo had a sale.
Nintendo had their
third party stuff.
All yearly sale.
You're making stuff up now. No, No,
this
is more fake than Hideo
29.99.
Kojima's new game. This is more fake than Hideo Kojima's new game.
Yeah, I think I ended up getting it for like €16 because
Hard to complain.
I had all my fucking points built up, like extra coins for discounts and stuff. So yeah, I grabbed that, watched a few reviews, and I'm so happy I didn't get it when it first ported across because it was fucking Final Fantasy Fallout 76 level of a shithouse.
Yeah, it's no textures.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all being patched. Well, that's 70% being patched. It performs so much better than I thought it was going to be. A lot of the kind of textures in depth are kind of blurred off, but it's like that typical as you approach it, it comes into focus and stuff like that. I'm just enjoying the gameplay. Like I kind of wanted to experience that kind of Final Fantasy, or I keep saying Final Fantasy, that Fallout genre feel again, and having it on the Switch, just portable handheld, is kind of great because you're kind of like, oh, I'll just jump on and do like 2 or 3 side quests and then continue on the main mission as I please. But yeah, like I started on PC last year and just never got into it, so it was just always on my backlog list. So I said I'd give it a go this week.
On my
Really
backlog
enjoying it.
list as well.
It's massive. And do you know what? It's one of those games where you can just burn through the dialogue and just be a dickhead to everybody, and just you're going to go help somebody, and the dialogue chain will say like you had your chance and killed them, and I was kind of like, no. So you can choose to do that, or you can go through the whole like persuasion route and stuff like that, and it does pay off for you long term, like for a few different things in the main campaign. But yeah, really enjoying it so far. So gonna keep knocking that out on Switch.
I started to play that actually on Game Pass, and then I just something came out that I played instead. But what I did play was it was just that it was the old Bethesda feel of a game.
Yeah,
It was
like
it was the same kind of comedy stuff or the same. Yeah, it was just like playing Fallout New Vegas or Fallout 3.
it's literally Fallout in space.
In space.
That's what it is. Like the comedy is real kind of Borderlandsy sometimes.
Yeah, it is.
Especially from the E3 trailer for Outer Worlds 2.
Can we just say, by the way, that E3 trailer from Outer Worlds 2 is still one of the greatest things I've ever watched. And now we are going to show some volumetric lighting, just because. It was great. It was just great.
It's like, and here we get a shot of the character, but we can't show his face because the devs haven't finished it yet.
It was like
that kind of humor.
Yeah. And the audio goes a certain way. It's like, no, we have to show a landscape as we pan. It was brilliant.
It's the only pity with being wholehearted.
Yeah, the only pity is they didn't get David Attenborough to voice it.
It
would have been that would have won the internet forever. They would have had to end the internet if they'd done that.
Just end
E3 after.
Anyway,
So yeah,
pull the
that's,
plug,
like,
Bill Gates.
with those kind of games, you're not expecting like top-notch textures and graphics and stuff like that. You take it at face value, and yeah,
it's a pity.
it's
The one
great.
thing I think is a great pity about the Switch port of AAA third-party games, The Witcher does do it, by the way. That's why I'm bringing it up. But the likes of Outer Worlds, I can't think of any other ones, but that they don't allow a cross-save feature to the Switch. Because it's the portable version of the game. How great would it be to, I'm playing Outer Worlds on my PC, on Game Pass, or on my PlayStation. I'm going on holiday. Pick up the Switch. Bring Outer Worlds with me. And pick up where you left off. Now, The Witcher does do that, which is why I bring it up. That I think it's only PC to Switch. I could be wrong on that, but with The Witcher, you can literally be playing on your PC, play so much, upload my save, download the save onto my Switch, and go to Starbucks.
Where you left off. Yeah.
This was not an advertisement for Starbucks, for what it's worth.
Yes,
that
it
is-
is.
that-
I have the
that
money
is-
to
But
buy
it'd be
it.
fantastic. Like, I'd buy
Especially
those
with
games on
portable
Switch
consoles.
then.
Yeah.
I'd buy it. I'd buy it. No problem.
That's why it's more annoying when you don't hear that announcement from Switch and Game Pass for that partnership. It's just like, just let me have it, or xCloud or whatever. Just like,
But they're gonna end up losing out. Like, they are gonna end up with the, like, we'll get to it later with the Windows 11 stuff and the new Xbox app. But you're gonna be able to literally play xCloud through an Xbox app on a fucking MacBook or on
Any
the
device.
tiniest laptop. If you can run the Xbox app, it can run xCloud, and then you like. I'm not a businessman, but to me, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
it's like you've got Xbox doing all
annoying.
of this, Xbox making all these moves to make everything so much more accessible, so much more playable, for very little financial input from the player.
Yeah.
And it's like you've got Nintendo and PlayStation, for what it's worth currently, what to do. It's like, it just makes sense. Why are you not fucking just jump on this bandwagon with them? Like, it just makes so much sense. Sorry, I've hijacked your conversation.
No,
again.
Jesus, that's what it's for. So yeah, discuss it.
Like, again, like
it sounds
Xbox
like a no-brainer, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. Like,
if you really are for the gamers,
like, they wouldn't lose any money by doing it. They'd only get more money.
Oh, your audience would be tenfold. Yeah.
I would pay an extra $5 a month to Game Pass if it gave me access to a PS version or a Switch version. Like if they're kind of saying, well, look, we don't want Xbox, people playing Xbox games on the Sony system because we won't get the money. It's like, take an extra $5 a month off me to give me the right to play that game. It's like, you get a $5 a month on me on something I was paying for anyway, so I can play Halo on my PS5 because that's the console I have.
I think you'd be able to do that anyway. I think you'd be able to do it through a browser on the PS5.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think you can with the PS5.
By the way, not that you'll need to, because you'll just be able to do it through your Samsung TV anyway, with a fucking USB stick.
Yeah, true.
You can do it on your phone. Like, you can play Nier Automata, as you sent me the link, Nier Automata at 60 FPS on your fucking phone.
With no PS4 perceptible input delay.
And the PS4 barely does that.
It's incredible.
But that is a nice compromise.
I'm not even saying that. Like, I'm not like that. That would obviously be ideal. But I'm saying, like, why isn't there even just cross save to these AAA games on a Nintendo Switch? Like, I'd literally pay for the game again, no problem. Like, anyway,
it's like, here's your punishment for not buying our hardware. Just give us €5 extra a month.
Crazy. It's crazy.
And you'll pay off
the
rest of an Xbox by
Sorry,
2 years. No, Jesus, work away. Sorry
like,
to get
Destiny
you so
does that. It's great, isn't it? Like,
yeah, like I love playing Destiny on the couch now, because I know when I log in, it's the same. And that's only recent, isn't it? That was only with it was with Beyond
Light,
the last big expansion.
No,
the likes of the Battle Pass carrying across and stuff like
Shadow Keep.
Shadowkeep. It was Shadowkeep, yeah.
But that's great. Like, I don't even have the expansion bought on my PS4. Like, I just have the downloaded free version, and you don't need it unless you're doing unless you want to use stasis and shit like that. But I mean, if you're just doing housekeeping stuff just to fill the void, it's great.
I'm a Titan. What's stasis?
It's dead to me.
Yeah, it's gone. It's what I need right now because I'm fucking sweating. The other big game I've been playing a lot since they had their big expansion on Wednesday.
Sea of Thieves, for fuck's sake. Here we go.
Can I just point out, by the way, Dylan here organized raids this week, and then dropped out of doing those raids that he organized to play Sea of Thieves. Yes. And you didn't organize, but you were like, God, can we do all this together? Yeah, no problem, Dylan.
Oh yeah, but then we done the challenges last week.
Yeah, no,
but at least I was honest. I said, if Sea of Thieves is
good,
good, I'm staying on Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, no.
And Sea of Thieves was fucking
And by the way,
good.
you said it early, by the way. You gave us plenty of notice, so it was fine. I hold nothing against you.
Take notes, everybody.
Kind of keep your PS5 captive.
I mean, at least it's not the end of fucking the Garden of Salvation lifespan, and you're struggling for 3 days to get a 6-person.
Yeah, I think if we hadn't been able to get somebody, we might have been able to guilt you into it.
Yeah,
but like,
and I would have jumped on if that.
It's so easy to get people. Like, we would have got somebody, or just did it with 5 people. It would have been fine.
Yeah. No, what's it called? This can't even think of the word. Jesus Christ, beer's going to my head. No loss on that anyway. 5-man. Anyway, 2-man the boss.
Go on. Talk about Sea of Thieves.
They done the partnership of the century, and every pirate's dream is to sail alongside Captain Jack Sparrow and do Pirates of the Caribbean shit, and it is fucking incredible. Disney did not Disney it. That's all I'm saying. They told a great story. They didn't just be like, "Here's Captain Jack Sparrow. Look at him. Here he is. He's all every campaign you're doing. Here he is."
Now buy his
It was
skins.
told so well, man. Like, it's an original story from the guys at Rare. In 5-part Tall Tales, it's like immersion is next level. They brought out new enemies, new interactive features through the Tall Tales, new environments. It's just the way they done it is so good, so good. It's the best expansion they've ever done.
And it's free, is it?
And it's free. Everything about it is free, unless you want to look like Jack Sparrow. Then give them $9.99 in the Pirate Emporium. But just the level of storytelling, like Tall Tales are their way of telling the campaign. So each Tall Tale tells a different story. There's a big overarching story about the Sea of Thieves. But there's a veil that was opened between two worlds by what's his name? Fucking Bill Nye, big tentacle face. Fucking can't even think of his name.
Davy
Jesus
Jones.
Christ. Davy Jones in his locker. Yeah, he's breached the gap, and Captain Jack is. It's cool seeing them interact with like our characters, like the ferryman and the ferryman of the damned and stuff like that. So I'm not going to get into the story, but the way it was told was just incredible. The way that you interact at different levels via the Tall Tales are just like they brought in new mechanics and stuff like that to go with it. The puzzles, problem solving is just it's so good. And each Tall Tale takes about an hour to an hour and a half to get through if you're kind of taking your time or if you're rushing. And the replayability is there, whereas the original Tall Tales were like you have your commendations, which is like your triumphs, and it's kind of like, okay, your last one, do this 5 times. But it's just, it was tedious.
It was an Anthem quest.
Yeah, it was elongating it for the sake of elongating it. You don't want to 100% it until you do like 5 of these. So this one has just more unlockables through it. Like there's cool things you can interact. Like one of them was a really cool. It took about half an hour to figure out. Like nothing. There's no markers on maps and stuff like that. It's literally you're in the world. You get prompts if you're close to something, but there's no like go here, touch this type thing. It's you have to figure it out, and that's the best part of it. When like I was playing it with Etsky, and it's just kind of bouncing ideas off each other. It's like maybe it's this, maybe it's that. But yeah,
that's not how it was at all.
It's incredible.
It's like it's not that. Why would you suggest that? That's a stupid thing to suggest.
But that's we were on.
What if we use the Celestial Nighthawk on it?
There's 5 in each level. There's always in every Tall Tale. There's 5 journals to collect, and it kind of expands like lore books basically. And they're just dotted throughout the map randomly. So you go into Calypso, if anyone's seen the Pirates of the Caribbean films. In her kind of sea village kind of thing, and you're in this whole area, and you know there's 5 books here, and you were just gone. Like one goes that way, one goes that way, and we've spent so much time, and you're kind of like in Destiny, you know, when you're doing raids and you're looking at things too in depth, and you're kind of like, it can't be this, but then in this, it is that. So you're kind of like, okay, it's not wasted time because it could be something so fucking flamboyant as being miles up here and you have to do 3 things to get to it. That yeah, so those kind of conversations were great because it's like you can't give out to each other because it's not wasting time because you're literally fucking getting a benefit from it because that's what it is. And then some of them are so simple, so it's a nice mixture. But
it's good.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it. It does look cool. In fairness, it does look cool.
And the general consensus from all the Sea of Thieves players and all the content creators on Twitter are fucking incredible. Like
it's a match made in like.
Oh yeah, like really it's one of those inevitable things. You're kind of like, right, when is it gonna happen? But
it's good they did it well.
I'd highly recommend it, and the fact it's free as well is just incredible.
They did great.
But if this is the way they're gonna tell stories going forward, I'm all in. All in. And like Rare is still an indie studio as well. Like to get that kind of partnership is fucking crazy. And they really
popular Sea of Thieves is.
Yeah. And like there's one Tall Tale, I think it's the second one. It's like a siege on a town, and you can actually there's an Easter egg where you can get into a rowboat and go through the ride on Disney. So you're going through the actual environment, and it's the actual Disneyland ride that's
cool.
based off, which is really, really cool. And they have the sound bites. You can even hear like the kind of crackling in the background because it's like the original sound that they used. It's really good. Really, really good if you're looking for these kind of things.
That's cool. Yeah.
So that was my week of gaming. I've done a lot.
How many minutes was that, Kev?
I didn't. We're at half an hour.
Oh, okay.
It was about 20 minutes considering what we the tangents you went off on, which is fine, which is good. It's what this is about. It's about having.
And
I
played Destiny for 20 minutes. Oh no, half an hour.
They did a weekly quest. Apart from the raids, I played Destiny for 20 minutes. Yeah, like it's about having a chat. It's about catching up. Yeah. Fucking, I'd be happy sitting here talking about that all the time. No problem at all. Not that anyone else cares, but I care. So, Stephen, what have you been up to? Have you done much game? I know you're busy IRL, but have you got up to much gaming?
Big adult. I took this week off work, so I but unfortunately then in real life decided, nah, fuck your plans. But no, I finished Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade.
Which, by the way,
Intermission.
Just to cut across quickly, we will be doing an extra podcast, myself and Stephen, talking about Intermission. And when Dylan eventually finishes Final Fantasy VII, I would love to do one talking about that whole game. But me and Stephen will do one over the next, maybe over the next few days, over the next week. Before the next episode, we will do a second podcast of the week talking about. We'll talk about Final Fantasy VII Intergrade plus Intermission. So we'll talk about the PS5 upgraded version, and we'll also talk about Intermission and what went on there, and our theories about where it's going, and etc., etc., etc. Back to you, Steve.
That will be full of spoilers. Just so
it will be.
If you haven't played it, don't listen to it.
It'll be full of spoilers. There'll be a big spoiler warning at the start.
And
I'll
probably
just sit here
just
and
into
deafen
spoilers
for the whole thing.
Yeah. The Jesus, that game, like, it's short. Like I'm kind of half doing a hard mode playthrough now. I'd finished chapter 1, and like once you get the combat nailed down, it's simple, but you still die quickly. Like those fucking wolves. Tear me apart.
So those wolves at the very start of hard mode playthrough, they are difficult because you're still under leveled. If you go back to them when you're level 50, it's like
you are my bitch now.
Yeah. Literally.
But so like I finished chapter 1 there. Not last.
The hard mode playthrough goes quicker than the normal playthrough because you kind of
you know what you're doing.
Going. Yeah.
You know what you're doing,
and you don't need to pick up things. Like I noticed all the item drops are the same. Yeah. So I was like, okay, I don't need to pick up the same materia again, and so on.
There's a couple you should get, but for the most part, no.
Yeah, I picked up a few, but like the HP plus and then
exactly.
Plus,
that's literally the one I was gonna say.
Yeah. But the final boss of chapter 1 gave me a bit of difficulty because I wasn't leveled up, so I was level 34 tackling him. And I said it to you, Kev. I was like, you level 34?
No,
you were level 40
I was level 44, 45 by the time I got to there. So I hit I hit level 50 doing the combat simulator stuff on the hard chapter.
Yeah, so I was level 34, I think, for Yuffie, and 33 for Sonon. And died the first time. I was like, all right, I'll come back to that. I checked with you to see was I under leveled. You were like, yeah, you're under leveled. I said, okay. Change my materia around, change how I kind of approached the fight, and got through in the second time. It was fine. One thing I noticed that was, it should really be explained. If Yuffie dies, Sonon will sacrifice himself to bring her back. So me giving Sonon revive was useless because when he died, I couldn't bring him back. So I need to give Yuffie revive.
It does give you a pop-up, by the way, explaining that to you. You might have just skipped past it by accident.
I might have just not died.
It does, or you didn't die. Yeah. So when you're playing in your normal, when Sonon joins your team, you get a pop-up saying he will sacrifice himself to save you.
I probably missed it.
You must have just skipped it by accident, yeah. Yeah, revive on him is hopeless. There's no point having it.
Yeah, so I changed that and changed how I use remove, and that solved my issues. But yeah, Jesus, it's a gorgeous game at a point, but the upgrade in general is so much like 60 FPS. Just how everyone feels in the game and how the like city looks and feels. It's just.
Have you played any of the base game again on
No.
PS5 now?
I really want to, but I'm waiting. I might see do I get the OLED, and then I'll go back and play it.
Yeah, I've got a couple of HDMI cables on the way, and that's when that's when I'll play Final Fantasy Remake again when they get here.
Nice.
Yeah.
Told you I was gonna do it.
You did. And then other than that, I don't think I played anything else. I'm really tempted to get Rifts Apart. So I think what I'll do now is I'm hopefully we'll have a couple of hours tomorrow. I think I'll play the first Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And if I get into that, then I'll take the dive and Rifts Apart.
Actually,
I really want to get Returnal as well.
Dill, if you're looking for something to do over the next couple of days, that's not a bad shout.
Play the first one? Yeah, Stephen was mentioning that you get it.
PS5 arrives. You might have got it already. It was PS Plus. It was free on PS Plus like 4 or 5 months ago.
Oh, it was free as a...
It's just free. It was just free.
Did I get it?
Yeah, you didn't even need PS Plus.
I'd recommend giving it a shot because it's a very good game.
Yeah, like I'd like to play it to get into it and whatever story bits are there. So I think I'll do that. There's loads I want to kind of play and do, but I just don't have the time.
No, the first game I'm dying to play on the PS5 is, and it's very controversial. Controversial? Godfall.
Wow.
That's... Cannot wait.
Kick him?
What do you want to play, Dill?
Exactly.
I didn't actually hear what you said.
Godfall. Yeah. I like hack and slash, man. I enjoy it.
Oh, you should go play the Strangers in Paradise demo then.
I'm going to talk about that in a minute. Don't you worry, son.
Okay.
So that's been my week, really. Don't think I've done anything else outside of that.
Until our Bloodborne / Demon Souls playthrough together.
Hasty. Oh.
Playing through Bloodborne with a friend is a really nice way to play through Bloodborne.
Is it like Monster Hunter World though, where it's like, yeah, you're playing it together, and then you start
actually
the
not.
mission?
It's slightly less awkward than that. So,
which defeats the purpose of playing with somebody.
Yeah,
because
no. After you beat a boss, I think it might kick them from your world, but they can rejoin you 10 seconds later.
Okay, so it's the opposite of Monster Hunter.
It's not like Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter's a bit silly.
I need help fighting this boss. Okay, you need to kill it first, and then you can play with a friend.
Yeah. No. You can. So in
that's not what I need you for.
In Bloodborne, you can't get them into your game straight away, but you literally have to walk about 30 seconds, and then you can invite people into your game, and they can play the whole way up to a boss fight. But once you finish a boss fight, they will get kicked from your game world. But you just literally then walk back out again, and you can invite them back in. Yeah, it's on paper, it's very complicated, but in practice, it's very straightforward. Yeah, you literally ring a bell, and they ring their bell, and then that's literally it. That's really what it is.
Ring your bell.
So I don't know what they're called. I'm gonna call it a receiving bell and a going bell. So one person rings the receiving bell. One person rings the going bell.
Find the frequency and the coordinates on the
Yeah, you literally set a password, and you each just set the same password, like Pokemon Sword and Shield. And
you
just join. Yeah, it's not complicated. Sorry.
Now that is the question. Now it's: do we play Bloodborne or do we play Demon Souls first?
I'm gonna wait on.
You go
Bloodborne.
Demon Souls.
Oh no, I'm gonna wait on Bloodborne.
Jesus Christ, that was very, very attack. Like
nah, I'm gonna wait on Bloodborne to play it because I think they might do an upgraded version.
Next gen upgrade.
Yeah.
I think
they
might.
That, yeah, I think if Dale is looking for the first game to play, like I think solo Demon Souls first and get a feel for that game type.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then co-op Bloodborne all the way, but don't let Bloodborne co-op be your first experience of the Soulsborne games.
Okay. So do Demon Souls and then
Yeah, because like you might co-op with us and then go, fuck it, the lads out around, I'm gonna give it a go, and then you'll know what to
Get
do.
on.
Whereas if you co-op it and then decide to go alone, you're gonna get fucking destroyed.
That's not very nice.
Really.
Like,
I mean, I play games on easy normal. I'm gonna get destroyed.
But no, that's my week, Kev. So how have you been? You sound like you've been busy.
I have. I didn't do a whole lot of gaming, to be quite honest, over the last week. I don't think. I had to make a trip to IKEA on Monday, which took up my evening building the IKEA. At football Tuesday, IRL stuff, and then yesterday did the Destiny raids. But most of my weekend was spent following a conspiracy, and not really actively taking part in the conspiracying, but just following it because it was a lot of fun. So, if you're unaware,
I am.
Okay, Abandoned.
Oh, no.
There's
Oh,
a game was announced about 2 months ago as a PS5 exclusive called Abandoned. It's a survival horror looking game made by an independent studio out of Holland called Blue Box Studios. People very quickly thought it looked like Silent Hill. There's a lot of comparisons.
Silent Hill a survival game?
It's Silent Hill's a horror game.
Okay.
Horror, yeah.
Silent Hills, even, to be clear. So a lot of people thought that this was secretly Hideo Kojima's Silent Hills.
Jesus
And
Christ.
it was shut down fairly quickly, saying, no, we've nothing to do with Konami. We've nothing to do with Hideo Kojima. We're just an indie company making our own game. And it was fairly broadly shut down. Like, in a lot of the news media said, no, it's not. This is a real game. And then about a week ago, Blue Box Studios Twitter tweeted exactly this tweet out. Guess the name. Abandoned equals first letter S, last letter L.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Silent
Yeah, very quickly people went, it's Silent Hill! And then...
It's Sempiternal.
It's Sempiternal. But then a lot of... there you go. That's a great name for a game.
Actually is.
There it is.
But a lot of
Patent
people... Dill's just figured out the whole conspiracy. No, a lot of people then did a little bit of research and like, right, what's going on here? There's a lot of stuff that doesn't add up. I don't have the list in front of me. There was a big breakdown done on Reddit. But there was a lot of coincidences between Blue Box Studios and Abandoned with Hideo Kojima / Konami / Silent Hill. For example, the lead developer of Abandoned, first name is Hassan, second name is Kahaman or Cameraman, something along those lines. HK.
Cameron, I think. Yeah.
I can't pronounce it. But it was HK, Hideo Kojima, HK. When you translate Hideo into English, it means hero. When you translate the guy's name, second name, Karaman, I think I got it right that time, from Turkish to English, it means hero. So they have the same name. So people were like, it's Hideo, it's gotta be, he's messing with us. But there was a load of stuff. So when they went digging into this guy, the developer was running a YouTube channel called with the username was 27 and then the number 27. Silent Hills, which was cancelled on April 27th.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
But like, there's weirder stuff.
Yeah.
And people were convinced. And then Jeff Keighley jumped in and was like, all right.
Jeez, it got that much traction.
Yeah, it did. It was crazy.
Oh,
like,
Dill, this is only day one.
This was only day one.
Fucking hell.
Like, Jeff Keighley jumped in and he did like a live Q&A thing on Twitter. And someone asked the question, look, what's going on with Hideo? What's going on with this game? Is it Hideo? Is it not? And Jeff answered it. But he had this weird smirk on his face the whole time. That was like, he knows more. And he's basically saying that, Hassan has reached out to me. We're going to... he's going to do a reveal next week. Blah, blah, blah. As if to say, I know more about this. Now, later on, Jeff Keighley kind of backtracked and said, look, I know as much as you guys. I've only known what he's shown me. Now, the guy promised to send Jeff Keighley images of the game that Jeff was going to post online. That never happened. Jeff never got the images. one of the replies was someone tweeted at Jeff saying, "Jeff, where's the images?" He replied, "Hassan has kept me waiting." When Phantom Pain Metal Gear Solid 5 launched, Snake popped up saying, "Kept you waiting, huh?" So
for fuck's sake.
There was just a hell of a lot. And then Jason Schreier got involved. And Jason Schreier was like, "There's something going on here." He's like, there's something going on. It
lines up too perfectly with so many aspects.
But that's only like a couple of examples. There's so much that I can't remember off the top of my head. But there's so much that just lines up so well. Like, there's another one. The guy was playing a game called So people ended up finding this guy's PlayStation Network account, by the way. So he was playing a game called Demon Blood, which has not released on PS5, by the way. It's not even out in the store. You can't buy it. And then the box art for the game
or something.
Yeah, it's the game. Apparently he's made this. Apparently he made it for his nephew. But the box art for the game was Siren Head, and I'm not going to butcher the name. Someone who was developing Silent Hills with Kojima has expressed an interest in making a game around Siren Head. Like, it was just, there was a hell of a lot. And then it wasn't helped by the fact that Konami then start teasing Silent Hill merch on their merch store.
Jesus Christ.
But there was just some people were convinced, and it got quite toxic after the weekend. And eventually Hassan, the director of this game, apparently he put out a video then saying, "Oh, I'm Hassan, blah blah blah," and they kind of went, "Okay, maybe this isn't Silent Hill." But it's weird. Like, there's definitely something going on with the game. I don't know what it is. I don't really want to speculate because it just adds some more fuel to the fire. But I don't think it's a Silent Hill game for what it's worth.
I bet you the game is just called Survival or something now. What?
It's Eternal.
But no, that's where they went with it. They were like, it's called. They were like, it's called Survival. Was another one. There was one. It was Siren Head, something.
Oh,
what was it? It was Siren. Oh, it's Siren's Call. That's what it was. And by the way, the breakdown someone gave of a game for Siren's Call sounded fucking terrifying, but brilliant.
Nope.
But yeah,
I think
it was fun following it. It was a lot of fun following it because,
especially seeing so much coincidental parts of names and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like, and I think what really kind of had people convinced was that PlayStation were silent. Konami were silent apart from teasing their merch. Hideo Kojima, that was another one actually. So like a couple of weeks ago, Hideo Kojima posted he bought 2 books. The authors, one of the books had silent in the title.
Silent Child or something.
Yes, Silent something. And the other one was written by someone, Susan Hill. So it's like Silent Hill. Like, there was so much. It was crazy. But there's a new theory now that Abandoned isn't Silent Hill, but it's the first part of the tease for a new Silent Hill game. So Hassan has said that there's like, I think it's 7 different companies that are working together to make this game, or working on it, but he doesn't know what the game's going to be. The studio don't know where it's going to go, blah blah blah. So people are theorizing.
Is it a real thing? Is it a game?
It is. It's
coming.
It's getting a loose term demo tomorrow on the PS Store. It's basically a playable trailer, which is like there'll be
a playable teaser.
It's a teaser. So there's an app you can launch, and they're gonna use this app to show trailers and show stuff within it. It's never been done before, so people were a bit suspicious about that. Never been done by third party company. Killzone did something previously. Silent Hills PT was basically the same, but yeah, it was just nuts. It was great following. I had a lot of fun following it. But yeah, people now think that Abandoned is the first part of it. So they're going to show Abandoned, and then that's going to lead into something else, and that'll give more. And then after a few things, it'll be a teaser for a new Silent Hills game by Hideo Kojima. It's fun following Kojima nonsense.
I mean, if this doesn't go anywhere, you've basically debunked every conspiracy theory in the world. in terms of this correlates with this, so it has to be right. Like, there's so many similarities there.
Yeah, it kind of shows how people get very easily.
Oh, rabbit hole yeah. But you would take that, like,
it was great.
Like, for example, with the hero, like, translation to both their names or whatever, and his books, one saying fucking Silent and one saying Hill. It's kind of like
nuts.
It's like these put in plain sight things, like
but the reason people thought it was when the Phantom Pain came out for Metal Gear Solid 5, he did exactly this. So he set up a fake studio in Sweden called Moby Dick Studios, and they were releasing a game called Phantom Pain, and it was by a director, Joachim something, I can't remember the second name. Joachim is an anagram for Kojima.
Oh, Jesus.
So, like, he's done this before, which is why...
It's not off character. Yeah,
it's not off character for Kojima. But anyway, moving on from conspiracy nonsense, it was great fun. I'll send you a link to the Discord post, or the Reddit post, because you'll literally read through it and go, yeah, I can see why people thought this.
Yeah, it has to end one way. Yeah. But the only thing is, if it doesn't, it would kind of take away from the developers then, because it's kind of like, oh, this isn't what we wanted, fuck you. It's like, we were just making a game in the background.
Yeah, and I think it is, you can feel sorry for them, but they did lean into it a bit, as in they went, our game is
especially
getting...
as an indie developer.
They're like, our game is getting so much attention now, let's just ride this wave a little bit until we start getting death threats.
I mean, no matter what they announce, it'd be better than each 3 anyway, so silver lining.
Apart from that, I played some bit more Ratchet & Clank. I'm quite near the end of it. I think I've got about, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours left, including collecting everything. I'm probably going to get a platinum on that because it's an easy enough platinum to get.
Nice.
Did I play much else? Don't think so.
You play Sea of Thieves via xCloud on your PS5?
No, I didn't. What I did do today though was I tried out a couple of demos today because Stranger of Paradise is finished after today. It's the Final Fantasy Origin trailer.
Shit, that finished
demo.
today?
It finishes today, which is why I played it.
Is this the chaos thing?
I wouldn't. Yeah, chaos. I wouldn't rush to play it, Stephen.
Okay.
Chaos will always be there.
Chaos.
I'm not gonna. It's chaos. I came for chaos. But I'm not gonna. Okay, he doesn't say chaos as much as people say he says chaos. For what it's worth, I didn't finish the demo. I got to a point where I just kind of went, I've seen enough. I'm happy to leave it. Okay. I'm not going to talk about it being unpolished because it's an alpha. It's literally something they've built to show off what they're doing with this game or what their idea is. So it is very unpolished. And that's fine because of what it is. I feel like they're trying to do too much.
Okay.
So the combat is fine. It's a different style of combat to what Final Fantasy normally is. It's more Devil May Cry than Dark Souls or Soulsborne. It's hack and slashy with combos, and you unlock new combo abilities as you go in, level up, blah blah blah. That's fine. You've got different weapons. I think there's 4 different weapon types. You've got like a great sword. You've got like a kind of short sword that doubles up as like a wand for doing magic. You've got a lance, and I didn't unlock the 4th one, but I think it was like some sort of defensive class. So the combat is like, it's clearly very Soulsborne inspired. But it's more similar to Devil May Cry and moment to moment. You've got your what you call them in the fires in Dark Souls.
Oh, the bonfires.
The bonfires, yeah. You got the bonfires that you go from 1 to 1. They act as a checkpoint. You can level up your character at them, but you can also equip new stuff and level up just in normal gameplay anyway. But then they've also tacked on this kind of looter shooter stuff where you're dropping. Yeah, so you've got gear. And I think there's 4 different sets of gear. Maybe 5 different sets of gear. And they all have different benefits and different perks on them. Some are better for using with the great sword. Some are better for with the mace. Some are better with the spear, the lance. And then they all have different stats. So one will give you fire resistance or thunder resistance or percentage less of break damage, or you do more magic damage. They all have stats and perks on them, so it's very lootery in terms of that. It's not like the way in a Soulsborne game, Stephen, where you'd know this, that there's gear sets and there's gear pieces, but they are static rolled. You get them from a very specific point of the game. In this, enemies drop random loot the same way they do in a Destiny or a Borderlands or that vein of game. And that and it drops very frequently, so I found myself in my menus quite a lot more than I would have liked to be in my menus. And it's a kind of live menu in that you can still walk around while changing your gear, but you can also take damage. Well, yeah, it was a bit weird. One thing I thought was a bit of an issue was the MP, so the whatever you want to call it, move power. Right. That drains quite quickly. Like, so you get it from using the finishers on them. So when you stagger something, you can press circle beside them and it does a finishing move and you gain back MP from that. But if you're trying to use the magic class, especially at the start of the game, it drains so quickly. And it's just kind of like, I feel kind of useless using this, so I'll just put my greatsword back on. I don't know, it just, like, they do the same thing where you get a bonfire and then you can open up a shortcut to get back to the bonfire and re-heal, then use that shortcut. They do a lot of that sort of stuff. I didn't get to a boss fight, so I don't know what that's like. I got bored, to be quite honest with you. I got bored. I got to a point where I've gone, right, I've seen enough. I could not be bothered playing much more of this right now in this current state.
Okay.
Yeah, I just feel like, and there's skill trees. So each of the weapons, so you've got obviously your greatsword, your lance, that each of them have their own skill tree, which you level up and unlock a point that you can put it. They're called job points, by the way, which is a weird fucking title. But they unlock.
No, that's from the old games. Yeah.
They use that so you can level up, unlock new abilities, unlock static progression, so +5 to strength, plus whatever. Yeah, it just feels like it's trying to do too much. Like it's trying to bring in this combat with Soulsborne type game, with Final Fantasy lore and stuff, with skill trees from an RPG. There's just too much going on that it's really overwhelming. And the way they explain it is in really, really boring text screens of text. And I'm just kind of like, I don't want to be reading this boring text, so I'm just not going to do it. Now, the combat has some cool mechanics in it, in that you've got your normal block where you can hold your block and just take a little bit of damage. You've got, I think it's a soul block is what it was called. So if you time your soul block perfectly, you gain back MP from it, I think it was. Or if an enemy has a projectile that they throw at you, if you hit your soul block at the right time, you absorb that projectile, take no damage, and then you can use that projectile. So it is trying to do some really cool things.
Just too early at the moment.
Just a bit. Yeah, I don't really know how I feel about it. I didn't know how I feel about it having watched the trailer, and I still don't know how I feel about it having played it.
You don't feel like it's
they're
chaos,
introducing so many aspects that it overshadows the previous.
It's overwhelming.
Yeah.
Now this is a different direction that they're going. It's done by it's not done by Square, like the main company. It's done by Ninja. Okay. Ninja Theory, I think it is, isn't it? Team Ninja. Sorry, Team Ninja. It's done by a different company in a different style, and that's fine. It's just a bit weird. And also, it uses a cross between Final Fantasy 15 and Final Fantasy 7's UI in the menus, and it's just like, this is a really grim and dark looking game, and here's a really blue menu. It's just a bit off-putting. Apart from that, I tried another demo today. Speaking of unpolished, underwhelming games from Japan, I tried out Pro Evolution Soccer's new demo that launched today under the title "New Football Game." By the way, which is kind of hilarious. Yeah. So I won't get too bogged down in this. I just wanted to give it a shot because it was a free demo. They're testing their network, so you can't just play against the computer. It matches you against a real person, so you're playing an online match. I won, by the way, so my salt isn't for any other reason. They've gone from using not the Decima engine. What's the one that Phantom Pain uses? The Fox engine? Is it Fox engine?
Yeah.
They've scrapped that. They're not using Fox engine anymore. They're now using UE4 for Pro Evo, and it's basically the same game. So what was the point?
Of course it is.
What was the point? It still Pro Evolution Soccer was fantastic 16 years ago, and it hasn't come anywhere since then. So if you're a sports simulator fan, football simulator fan, stick to FIFA. Just stick to that EA game and just avoid this Pro Evo game. It was shit.
Yeah, as much as it gets slated for microtransactions, it is
at least it's fun.
Yeah,
like at least it's fun. This was, I should have taken some clips. It's like, it's unresponsive, unpolished. It feels the same as it's felt for a long time, which is not very good. But I'm not that I was all that invested anyway. I just saw the demo went live. I just saw the demo went live today and went, you know what? Next gen, they've changed the engine. I'll give it a shot.
Not worth it.
No, that's literally all that I really did this week. We're an hour in and we've only just done a catch up.
I mean, to be fair, we're probably not going to spend too long on Season of the Splice Tags.
To be fair, though, we've done a breakdown of Sea of Thieves stuff. We've done a breakdown of Avengers. Yeah. We've done a breakdown of Final Fantasy Intermission. And I spoke about the crazy conspiracy theory I've been following all week. So we've done quite a bit.
Yeah. It's good to get that in an hour. Yeah.
Before we go any further, I'll let you guys start chatting about Season of the Splicer. I'll listen in. I need to go for a wee. Because I had training tonight, which meant I took on a lot of fluids, and now I need to go for a pee. So you guys kick off Season of the Splicer stuff, and I'll listen in and catch up in a minute.
I don't know who we sponsored by this week, Dale.
Huh?
Who we sponsored by this week?
Do you want to switch your internet service provider? Look no further than.
Further in Ireland, anyway. Fuck that.
Yeah, actually, I've been getting Apple. Like, I listen on Apple Podcasts, and I have been getting localized adverts now the last couple of weeks, and they are fucking horrendous. A solid minute to a minute and a half. I've never experienced it before, and I was like, it's at the start of a podcast, it's at the random jaunts throughout it, and it's at the very end, and it's really, really
God.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Just, you know, when you listen to like Americans talk, and it's like you're in that kind of environment where the same kind of monotonous kind of voice, and then you hear fucking, do you need new car insurance? Look no further than Aviva. And it's kind of like,
is your dick limp?
Oh, and it's just so abrasive. It's just, yeah.
You guys really not start talking about fucking Season of the Splicer.
No.
I was waiting until you came back with some good conversation.
Right. Moving on from those really bad adverts you were doing.
Season of the Splicer.
Season of the Splicer launched for Destiny. I'm going to say about 6 weeks ago now.
Yeah, we're on 7.
We're on week 7.
Yeah,
week 7. 7 weeks ago. Yeah, very good. Yeah. Very good. Very good. Launched about 7 weeks ago. It's mainly focused around... I'm not going to deep dive too much on it, but it's focused around Mithrax, who is a fallen Kel. Correct me if I'm wrong. But he's not a villain in a way. He's helped us in the past. Specifically, it was around the time of Black Armory, and that Mithrax helped us, I think. Oh, yeah. So we have had relations before. So what's going on is that the Vex have cast a simulation over the last city, where the sun hasn't risen in 7 weeks, so they all look like pasty Irish guys.
Oh, endless night.
It's the endless night, yeah, and that is being caused by the Vex in a simulation. So what's going on is we are going into the Vex network with the help of Mitrax to figure out what's going on in there. Full spoilers for season of the Splicer up to this point. I don't think we'll go into any into any leaked stuff, because I don't really follow leaked stuff.
I didn't see any of it.
So no, there's been some stuff, but I don't follow it, so we won't be talking about leaked stuff. But it started off 7 weeks ago. We went into the Vex network for the first time, and as we left the Vex network, we got a glimpse of the villain for this season. And that villain is most likely, considering the dialogue follow-up we've had in recent weeks, is Coria. Is a Vex Hydra, a taken Vex Hydra, who is no doubt working with Savathun. We've been going into the Vex network every week since. There's been 3 or 4 different variants, and now we're getting taken variants, or corrupted variants as they're called, which have been giving us a lot more lore. In amongst all this, we've had the future war cult leader Lakshmi. I'm not sure what the number is there. Someone might be able to.
Like this
2.
all the time.
Not Lakshmi 2. And she's been
super racist,
quite xenophobic in that, and racist in that she has no time for the Fallen. She thinks the Fallen, we shouldn't be working with them. There's a lot in the lore and on armor pieces to lead us to believe that she has been brainwashed almost by Savathun.
Oh no!
Have you not been following anything?
Don't read lore books. That's my
I thought the prevailing thing is that because they use the Vex cube to look into the future, she's seen a future timeline where basically Fallen have infiltrated the city.
She's seen multiple different timelines, and the one that she wants to is where she
she's making the one happen. Exactly. I don't think that's a Savathun thing. I think that's
very much something Savathun would do, though.
You think she is kind of semi-possessed? Because
I don't think she's semi-possessed.
Actually, do you know what? You're probably right, because
I think she's been misled.
The tune.
Yeah.
She was humming the Shadowkeep tune. Yeah. She's a
Savathun song.
Possessed.
Like, it could be very Crow what happened to him. In terms of, like, he's shown this version of his sister, and he wants this to be real.
Exactly.
That he's just completely enveloped in it. And she sees the reality where the Fallen take over, and she comes out as the new leader of the last city.
Savathun has shown her what she wants to see.
She's giving her Loki. She's just doing that to her head. And she's like,
now, there's a lot of theories that she's not the only one who has been infiltrated. That there's also other characters that we shouldn't be really trusting right now. But
Cyrus.
It'll all play out in the rest of the season.
Shax.
Just a quick overview.
Give me this crown. I just want to take it home and have a look at it for a while.
Just a quick overview. How have you guys been enjoying the season? Or how do you think it is? Taking Vault of Glass aside for the moment, because that has obviously helped the season, because we have a raid. It's also Vault of Glass, and that may end up playing into everything that's going on, potentially. But taking that out of the season, how was the season aside from that for you guys?
I loved it.
Yeah, go ahead, Stephen. Work away.
I love the story. I love the pacing. I love all the, like, it's not just the story of, like, uncovering the big bad of what the Endless Night is. It's the interactions of all the characters. Like, my favorite part of the season has been Saint 14 and Mitrax, and that story of Saint 14 we know is the hero, and comparing him to the devil that he is, to the Fallen, and how that's even developed from there. Like, each week there's been a little bit more about, like, well, Saint has actually opened up his thinking a little bit, and has actually said, well, Jesus, I never thought of myself as the
different perspective.
the monster. And then he goes to reach out to a fallen child, and the fallen child goes, fucks off out of there. Like, I think all that storytelling is just, it's fantastic.
I think,
and we need more of that really to the front and center. I
and
think
not
that needs
just
to
in
be-
Destiny, by the way.
Mm.
It's very brave storytelling.
It's
it
very
would obviously
brave and
rifle up a
current.
few people.
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
Stephen.
And-
Yeah, it's very in touch with the real world in very subtle ways.
No, I'm really enjoying it. I think they're handling it very well. And now we're finally getting to see Sabatune as the big bad, and we're starting to see the pieces fall together. Like, we all know Quoria is probably the first stopgap before Sabatune.
Yeah.
And now we're getting that piece, and we're getting the sense of like, fuck, like this. It's no longer a thing of the Vex are, they're Venus, they're Europa, they're out there. It's like, they're here.
Yeah.
They've infiltrated the city. We now have taken blights in the fucking tower, which no one talks about, which is really annoying.
I saw them yesterday. I was like, oh, okay then.
I just go up to Zavala and he's like, Guardian.
What's going on with that big black ball behind your head? Do you want to talk about that?
I wonder if that will be. I wonder
it's-
if that will be next week, though.
Well, I've seen
there will be
people-
some voice lines.
I think I kind of
If
agree
you
with
think
this.
about it, sorry, just before you move on to that, I think,
No.
and this kind of came up for me when the Crow stuff was going on, and that the Crow was back in the helm, but he was also still in Spider's Den. I think Destiny's time isn't necessarily today is Tuesday, today is Wednesday. It's not linear. Destiny's time, it's a certain time period for X number of weeks, and then it moves on to the next thing. So Destiny's time isn't we did this in our game, so this is what should be happening. No, it's a certain way for a fixed amount of time, and then the next thing happens, and then that's the way it is for a certain amount of time, and then the next thing happens. So I think the way it kind of happens.
Yeah, I think that's probably one way of them kind of getting out of it. I think another way they might
loophole.
be doing it is that because we're becoming a sacred splicer, we are more attuned to what's going on. So maybe we see the Vex corruption more than the Last City people do.
Yeah, that is good.
So I think that could be something, and maybe they'll explain. Maybe it's in the lore book somewhere or coming up. But no, I have to say I love the storytelling this season. The activity, I enjoyed it at the start. It's a little bit grindy now. It's a little bit samey. The corrupted keys, I don't think I've seen one drop at all. I don't know if I'm doing it properly or not.
They have increased them now. Like last week, they were very rare. I got one from 3 raids, and now I've got a full stack. So
Yeah,
they
I
are dropping a lot more. They're dropping a lot more now.
But I love it. Like, Dill, what about you? Because you were like me last season with the story, how it was pissing us off with a bit of FOMO.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's no stranger that I don't like the drip-fed seasonal model, but this season has been the one that feels like it has that extra. When you log in each week, it's not just do the seasonal activity, hear a little bit of dialogue, and that's it for another 7 days. It feels a little bit more interactive, and not just in terms of like, go here, do this, go here, do that. It's more. There's more to do. It's not just a quick half an hour log in, do this activity, and then that's it. Whereas to me, that feels like I'll just go read the lore books if you want your story. We're not telling a story. Whereas this feels like you were saying, Stephen, the Vex are here. It's created like an environmental change.
Yes.
In terms of the tower
it's actively changing as we do it.
Yeah. And it's especially even like the subtle things where the lights aren't working, and just little kind of voice notes from certain characters and talking to Mithrax through like that whole section on the helm where you can interact with the what are they called? The computers to hear Lakshmi's fucking freedom speeches and shit like that. Or if you want
She's
to
just
hear
an
like
anti-vaxxer.
Yeah. But in terms of just the story, it's great. Like we're jumping into the Ethernet cable or the old Vex, what's called the Vex
Splicer servitor.
Like Vex simulation. Reminds me of the if you were born before the year fucking 95, the old internet cable where you hear the that's what I imagine that to be like. But that is great, and the fact that like they have it on a rotation, and like you were saying, it is getting very samey. It does as the weeks go on. I don't want to say it feels lazy, but it's like the encounter after the third week where it's just take down the same barrier goblin and then rinse and repeat the boss. But it's the voiceovers that you get at the end of that when you open the chest. Like as soon as we discovered that it was Savatoon behind it last week, I went into a random one of those, what are they called?
No.
Overrides?
Overrides, yeah. Went straight into that, and then Saint is already talking. It's like, oh, now we know that it's Savatoon, blah blah blah, and it's just it gives that extra depth to the story. It really feels like it's a campaign compared to the others. And
actually, sorry, talking about immersing you in the game, the corrupted expunge, the message.
Oh, did you see those? Yeah, under the radar.
Up in the, I see you.
Genius.
Yeah,
I would.
That was.
Yeah.
I wonder two things. I wonder two things about that. Sorry, Stephen. Go ahead. Say what you were going to say. Then
I just want to say, like, Bungie this season for me have killed it with not just the narrative, but it's the side stuff. It's as you said, Dale. It's you complete the activity and then the voiceover changes to what's going on currently. They know it's Savatoon. It's going into that corrupted expunge and just seeing, I see you hiding in my network. And you're like, the fuck is this? And now you know it's Savatoon. And it's like, don't know. Quoria in that one. Quoria. Yeah, it's Quoria in that one. And it's like, this is something new to Destiny. And it's like, it's so small and out of the way, you probably wouldn't have noticed it. But yeah, it's so telling that you just can't help but notice it. Like,
brilliant.
What the fuck is this? And just the text lines was
brilliant. I'm not going to
jump you, Dale. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I won't break down the what all the text lines were. It was like basically, I see you running around in my network. And why are you doing this? It's pointless. You're already dead. Because Quoria would have seen our deaths because we saw our deaths during season of the something.
Season of the
Saint. Season of the Saint 14. So, and it's like, it was brilliant. So it was under your radar, and the further you go through that mission that week, it changed for each part you were at. Brilliant. I wonder two things. I would have loved to be in the room or a fly on the wall when that was brought up, and why don't we do this where the villain is talking to the Guardians the way we use so if you're in like a PvP match, the place you're in on that map is underneath your radar. So like rugs on Midtown or whatever. So they actually, and they use that for the villain to speak to you. I also would have loved to know how long ago did someone suggest this, and they were just keeping it for the right time. Because it was never done.
I mean, it kind of goes into the whole, like, if this is a Hydra and we're in a simulation, this goes into the whole like they're hacking into our kind of visual network that like
so are we getting so close to them now that they feel threatened that
it feels like you're jumping into the Matrix and they can make you see what you want to see. Do you know that kind of thing?
I don't think they feel threatened. I think they're quite naive about it. Because Quoria is like basically like, you're gonna lose. Why? But we're paracausal, which they probably haven't accounted for. So I think like Quoria was basically saying it's a waste of time. You're gonna lose. So why are you doing this? So I don't think they feel threatened.
But it's really nice as well though that like you could say that they're lazy by only putting in the text. It's like, oh yeah, I'll just type something into Microsoft Word and shut it up.
That was genius.
I think that was much more impactful than a voiceover. Like you could always have the voice going, whatever, I see you, and you're like, oh, what's that? I think just having it there is so subtle, and it's just it nearly even feels like they've hacked into your HUD. It's like they're sending it to your brain. Yeah.
It kind of created Alien Isolation vibes for me in a way. Because it's like,
Oh, yeah?
I know it's not a horror game, but it was like, I'm being watched right now.
Yeah.
Even though you're not really, it's just part of the story, the lore, or whatever. But it's like, I'm being watched. What I'm doing here is being watched by the villain that owns it. I thought it was fantastic. It was brilliant. It was just brilliant.
Like,
Yeah,
I love
I
when
love that.
stuff like this complement the story
Yeah.
rather than this is your story. Like, Destiny 6 months ago would have been more on par with, like, this is your weekly thing. You're going through the activity, and here's a little bit of text in the corner just to add a little bit of flavor to it, rather than you're getting your dialogue separate and then go through this, and then you get this addition, which I think is really, really well done.
I think they've really hit the nail on the head with everything in the story.
And I don't even think it's
narrative.
because of what's at stake in terms of
No,
like the story that they're trying to tell. I think it's how they're telling it really goes a long way. Like, I think if the other seasons, like, there you go, we can't even remember the fucking name of the season of the Saints because it's just the whole, like, here's a new big bad, go kill it. Here's a new big bad, go kill it. Whereas this is a build up to something. This is like, we're familiar with the names Korea, we're familiar with the name Sabatun. It's getting to that end game kind of state.
And it's also the way Aramis was introduced to us was like, here's Aramis, she's bad, go kill her.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's like you're building up. I know in the grand scheme of things, Savathun's going to be a much more fleshed out villain than Aramis was, but you're getting an idea of who these characters are, what their motivations are, how they're gonna do it, what's at stake, and it builds it up. Now we're probably not gonna fucking fight Savathun for another 18 months. But you know what? That'd be my prediction about this, is that we're not even gonna kill Korea at the end of this season. I think Korea is gonna be the raid boss for Witch Queen.
I could see a real MCU post-credit scene happen at the end of this season in terms of, like, we're about to kill Korea and Savathun fucking portals in and just, like, sucks her out or something. And then we just get the Thanos look where it's like you just see the side profile.
We don't know what Savathun looks like. Like we don't know what way they're gonna design her.
Yeah, and I'm more curious for that because I think there's a lot hinging on it.
Curious. I wonder, are they? I wonder, will we kill her in this season? But because
it's in the simulation,
taken,
it's not really her.
Yeah. We have to go to the Ascendant realm to.
No, I think we will. I think we'll kill her. I think we'll kill her, but it will be in the simulation, so it won't actually. I know they talk about in here it's real death to them the same way it is to us, but I think it'll be a simulated death of Korea. We'll think we've killed Korea, but we won't have actually killed Korea.
It's data for Savathun.
Which is part of Savathun's trick. It's conspiracies!
If you can kill my lieutenant, this is the biggest thing that I can ask you to do. Yeah.
That's what Savathun wants. That's what Savathun wants us to get stronger and stronger. She does want us to be as strong as possible, because it's the whole sword logic. It's feeding her worm. I think, and I think that's why they Vault the Glass is back as well. It's actually Hideo Kojima. Yeah. And I think that actually, just to bring Vault the Glass back into it, I think Vault the Glass is part of this whole storytelling in a way.
Definitely.
I've spoke about this previously, in that I'm pretty confident the Vault of Glass that we're doing now is a simulation. For multiple reasons, but I think it's a simulation. And we're doing this over and over again, killing Atheon over and over again, or Atheon over and over again, to get more powerful and more powerful and more powerful for whatever Savathun wants us to do. Gonna be exciting times ahead.
Just while there's a bit of quiet there, Season of the Dawn and Season of the Wordy. They were the two seasons we couldn't think of.
Season of the Wordy doesn't even appeal to me. But just I'm not a fan of the power grind for the sake of a power grind. Like, it is nice that it's dropped down to 10 levels rather than 100 levels. But there's no desire for me to. I know you guys are doing your Grandmasters and stuff for that, and I would like to get on board with one eventually. But in terms of grinding for the sake of grinding, I'm not a fan of that, but in terms of I'm excited each week to play the story now, whereas that was missing massively.
One thing I'll comment on. Sorry, go on.
No, I was just saying it felt like in previous seasons that you were just logging in to get those pinnacles and powerfuls each week. Whereas now it's like, I don't care about all that. I just want to log in.
You get them as you get
solely
them.
for the story. Yeah.
I think one thing I'll comment on the grind, and this is kind of moving away from this season of Splicer story, which I do want to go back to myself in a minute. But one thing talking about grind that I don't like is how grindy the seasonal challenges are this season. So they were introduced last season, and say there's 8 of them each week or 10 of them each week. 50% of them, so one of them you complete just by doing the weekly challenge, the weekly mission basically. You might have to do something small extra, but you can complete most of it by doing the weekly mission. And then you'll have stuff like kill stuff with machine guns in Override or Expunge or stun 40 champions. And all that stuff is fine because you do that naturally as you play the game.
Yeah.
But the Gambit and Crucible ones are fucking terribly grindy. Like, getting you to rank up 16 ranks in Gambit, it's basically reset your rank. Yeah. Reset your infamy or reset your Crucible rank. And those ones are too grindy for the sake of being so grindy. Like, even if it was play 10 games of Gambit, I'd still complain about it, but 10 games of Gambit is less than resetting your infamy or kill 500 enemies in Gambit. That'd be okay. But some of them are just ridiculously grindy this season. That I'm just waiting until all of the Gambit ones are out, and then I'll smash them all out in one day. Because I couldn't be bothered. I don't enjoy Gambit at the best of times. I know a lot of people do, and that's fucking fine. It's the same with Crucible. I don't want to sit down and smash out Crucible for a whole day just to reset my Crucible rank.
Yeah.
Because I have to for a weekly challenge. It's a weekly challenge. Weekly.
Shouldn't consume your whole
week. It shouldn't consume a whole... Like, you shouldn't have to put aside 6 or 7 hours to complete a weekly challenge. Now, I want to complete them because you get stuff for it. You get an emblem or whatever. You get a ton of Bright Dust, and that's great. But make the game mode specific ones less grindy, please. They are too grindy this season. Some of them are great. You get 4 or 5 out of 8 or 9 or 10 done really quickly, but those game mode specific ones just cool the jets just a tiny little bit on those ones. Why can't it be rank up 5 times? Why does it have to be a full fucking reset? It's crazy.
Like, because we have bounties in this game, I don't think the weekly challenge system works. Like, that originated from BRs, if I'm correct. Like, that's a...
Now, they give a ton of XP. They give a ton of XP.
Yeah.
And they give a ton of Bright Dust, which is great. But should supplement.
In terms of the games that this was... I don't want to say made for, but the games that this was introduced with were your rinse and repeat battle royales. You're jumping in, you're doing the same thing over and over and over. So this is like, why not do that same thing, but add this little thing? Play as this character, use this weapon instead. Whereas when you pick up Gambit, for example, you pick up your 8 bounties with the Drifter to get your weekly challenge or your weekly powerful with him, and then you're doing your 3 matches, and then you still have to focus on, like you said, if there's kill enemies with stasis in Gambit or whatever on top of that. I just think it's too much.
Yeah, no, I agree.
If it was replacing the bounty system, that's fine. And like you said, in terms of, like, you're a hardcore player, and if you're struggling this season to complete it, like, I wasn't a fan last season because it was tied into the battle pass or not the battle pass, sorry, the triumph seal. And if you didn't do the weekly, if you didn't max out the war table or whatever it was called, it's GG's. But it feels like it is a bit overcomplicated this season. I haven't scratched off half as many, and that was playing casually. Like,
yeah, I think what's wrong with it is that it incentivizes you to wait until they're all out. So if you're not the biggest fan of Gambit or you're not the biggest fan of Crucible, Because the rest of them you just tick off just by playing the game randomly. You can tick them off doing raids. You can tick them off in nightfalls. You can tick them off in whatever. But those game mode specific ones, if you're not the biggest fan of those or you don't play them casually, it encourages you to wait until all of the weekly challenge sets are out.
Yeah.
And then you go, right, today I'm going to sit down and just clear these Gambit ones out. Or I'm going to sit down and clear these Crucible ones out. Where if they were more accessible bounties to complete, accessible challenges to complete, it would encourage you to play the game mode, but not get bogged down in it for a whole day. I just think they have the balance wrong with those game mode specific ones. That's just my opinion of it.
Like, how pissed would you be if you went through a whole reset of Crucible or Gambit?
That's the thing, I have. That's why I'm pissed.
And then the next one that pops up is get 150 kills, and you're kind of like, I've literally spent the last... And not everyone is as privileged to have X amount of hours to play on
that's
the
the
game
thing.
each week.
Yeah.
Like,
I would
if
rather
you're appealing
go
to the
play,
masses...
Yeah.
You know,
I would rather go play Ratchet and Clank than do something like that. Or go play.
If you had 2 hours to spare in the evening and you said, I'm going to log on and get my 3 Gambit games done, I'm going to get my 3 Crucible games done, that's my weekly, and I can move on to the next thing. And you look at your weekly thing and you're kind of like, I have to do, like, 3 games didn't even scratch 30% off that achievement, you know? But I know it's a new system that they're trying out. It's only a season into it. Like, last season was the first one, like you said. So...
Like, one of them this week was complete a Grandmaster Nightfall, which is fine. Because if you leveled up, you're doing it anyway. If you've been doing the weekly challenges up to now, chances are you're close to Grandmaster level anyway.
Yeah.
So that's okay. But, like, get 16 Gambit resets or 16 Gambit rank ups or 16 Crucible rank ups. It's just kind of like, bloody hell, how much time do these guys think I fucking have?
That's where the FOMO thing kicks in, and... It's like they're not doing it with story this season, which is great, but they're doing it with other aspects of it. Like, I think I've played the game fairly a lot this season, maybe because VOG was coming out, so I had to get leveled for that. But, like, I'm only 13-19. I'm waiting on 1 drop for the last 13-20. But if I even want to look at Grandmasters, I'm nowhere near it in terms of artifact level and stuff like that.
You need to be like level 120 or something like that.
I don't want a bounty grind. I don't want an XP grind. I just want to play the game and still play other things. Like I was saying this week with the raids, I don't want to be forced into playing something that I'm not interested in putting so much time in for the output that you're getting. But yeah, it started with the Black Armory, and they're still trying to find their perfect sweet spot with the seasonal model. So I'll keep playing.
Yeah, I just thinking like some of the seasonal challenges, they could just rein it back in a little bit. They don't have to be grindy as hell.
Yeah.
Just give us something to supplement our XP and give us a bit of bright dust. You don't have to tell us to go play Gambit for 6 hours or go play Crucible for 6 hours or go do 30 strikes or something.
For God's sake. Yeah.
Like, make them, I don't know what you want to do. Get 10 kills with a sniper in Crucible. Great, no problem.
I like those ones, but then that's personal preference. Like, I hate the ones that's like, do 8 bounties on this planet and kill X amount of enemies on this planet.
I'd rather do that than 16 rank ups in Gambit.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but in terms of like, get 10 sniper kills in Crucible, or like, that's something you can actively
just chip away
towards.
Yeah.
You can say, right, I got 2 or 3 today, and then
like when you show someone get 16 rank ups, I think as soon as that one went live this week, everyone just kind of went, oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
We did all of Crucible last week, now we've got to do this. Yeah. But anyway, end of my complaining. That's my only gripe with it, is the seasonal challenges are just, some of them are too grindy, and they need to just chill a little bit on that. They don't have to be grindy. You can still make them things to chase over the course of a few weeks. And then without it feeling like you have to commit a lot of time or wait for triple XP week.
It's the same with the seal this season as well, with the season of the Splicer seal. For the expunged champions, like, there's 3 stages, if I'm correct.
Oh yeah.
The first
I
stage
just
is kill
finished it.
15 champions. I'm only on 13 on the first stage. I've played this each week since it's come out. It's not something that I want to grind to kill
I think
champions.
it's 45.
Fuck.
I think the last one's 45.
Now, if this comes to the last 2 weeks of the season and I have to just rinse and repeat expunge, that's not how I want to play the game. Like, it shouldn't come down to that. It was the exact same last season with me and Battlegrounds, I think it was. And I was trying to level up my thing to get the gold. I had to get like 400 Cabal gold and only had 150 or something. That's what it was. And I had to complete the weekly challenges to get that. And it's just like, it's too tedious. It's not the way I want to play the game. And I know if you want to do seals and stuff, it's specific, but I'd rather do specific things, not grindy things. Like 45 champions is a fucking lot of encounters.
Yeah, there's 2 per expunge.
Like,
I think
crazy.
a couple of things. One thing I don't particularly enjoy is that each weekly quest still makes you do an override mission. Like, we've done overrides every week for the last 7 weeks. Can we just skip that bit from next week, please? Skip. Now, next week's the last week of it's 8 of them anyway, but it's like, I've done lots of this. Can I skip it? And also the corrupted keys that have started dropping that Stephen has not gotten yet. So at the end of the corrupted expunge missions, which the expunge missions and corrupted versions are really cool, little short kind of 10-minute missions. They're really good. In the corrupted versions, there's a chest at the end of it, and you can only open that chest if you have a corrupted key. So you know how over the last few weeks, that now that most of us have finished leveling up our Splicer server, that all that data we have stocked up is useless. Why can't we buy corrupted keys with that data? Like, come on. Why can't we spend 500 data to get a corrupted key, or 300 data to get a corrupted key? Come on. These are smarter things that make quality of life better for players. Come on. Simple.
It's like the way you're still earning Cabal gold in the background if your thing's not maxed out. It's like, what am I doing this for? It's going to nowhere. Yeah. Let me put it into something.
Just little things.
But
just little quality of life things. Just make it so much more enjoyable. That's like everything I do is leading to something.
Like, I can understand in terms of the override. It's like every second week we get like a big chunk of story and stuff like that with cutscenes, and
that's true.
Like the Saint kind of that the way that they showed that was phenomenal. But in terms of seasonal activity, I really enjoy this one.
I do.
It's probably my favorite apart from Menagerie, obviously, but it's on that level of it's interactive. It's not too long. There's different stages to go through. It doesn't feel gated, even though it is gated because you have to go through the stages. But it doesn't have that, like, I know the final bosses are health done in 3 bars and it's yet to 1 and blah blah blah. But in terms of the activity itself, it's really well done. Yeah, really well done.
No, like I really enjoy the activity, but I just find after 7 weeks of having to do at least one,
of course,
you're just like, okay, it's a bit much. But to be fair, I will say I enjoy that much more than being told, go do a strike, a crucible, or a gambit, or several of them. I would much rather do the seasonal activity. But I'm really glad that you don't have to go and grind the ether key. That if you already have it, it's still gone weird.
He went weird, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
It's still Sabatune all of a sudden.
Yeah.
I see you.
Someone just edited that now, like on one of our panels here. But yeah, like that little quality of life feature where you don't have to.
Thanks for that idea, Stephen. Ooh, that could be fun. That could be fun. I might do that.
Just see the type of this. Yeah,
I'm gonna do it.
But like that's a great quality of life change. You don't have to grind. Like you don't have to do, because was it in the last season you had to do your strike or crucible or gambit to get the Cabal gold.
Even if you had it, hammer was already socketed, you had to complete a battleground.
Yeah.
Then empty the hammer to then refill it after doing a gambit or a crucible or whatever to then do the battleground again.
Yeah,
It was.
I think
that was bullshit.
that's the single biggest quality of life improvement they did this season, was how often the ether, is it ether, drops.
encrypted.
Like,
The ether,
you do a 1310 or 1340 nightfall, it nearly fills it all up for you. Rather than I have to do 6 strikes to get it. And you can overflow it. So you can have, I think it's 6 charges. But then you can overflow it with an extra you have an extra 300 there. So you have 12 charges there. So you could literally put one in, open a chest at override, and go do another thing. Oh, I'm full again. It's fucking great. On that, they actually did really well on that. And because it's been 7 weeks, I forgot about that.
Like, I've never had to actually go into a playlist activity to refill.
Not since the first week. Yeah, not since the first week.
Yeah, the first one just to get above that level. But it's never dropped below, and that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And that encourages you to play the mode more, because it's like, let's not give the whole, alright, go play Crucible, go play Gambit, and then come back and do the seasonal activity, and then you've done it once, so it's like, alright, go back and do more strikes and shit, and it's like, no, let me play the seasonal activity, let me rinse and repeat this. If I want to farm for whatever weapon, let me farm endlessly for this weapon.
Exactly.
Which is fantastic.
Yeah. No, so that's great, but I think it then leads to burnout with the activity, because you end up doing it more. But it's,
because I did it a ton. That
discipline,
first week,
Stephen. Discipline.
Yeah, like that first couple of weeks, because that was such a good XP farm, and because it was enjoyable, and the gear drops were good from it. By the way, that's another thing. The gear drops from it are fucking excellent, and the same for Expunge. By the gear drops are excellent. Like, it actually, I did so many. You do burn out, but taking all that aside, it is a very good seasonal activity.
The fucking the auto rifle, and
it's good. The Chroma Rush,
Chroma Rush is so good. What else? Yeah. What else is good this season?
Don't know. I've just been enjoying Chroma Rush. The sniper from the Nightfall is quite good. A zoom, and the seasonal fusion rifle is quite enjoyable.
Oh, the plug one, yeah. Plug one.
Not the other one. Plug one's good, but the other one as well. I can't think of the name of it. The gunsmith one. Yeah, no, there's a lot of really good stuff this season. But just to come back to the way the narrative has been told this season, because I didn't come in to talk about that when you were talking about it. I think
you weren't allowed.
No, I wasn't allowed. It's really brave and really grounded in reality of what's going on in the world right now, and it's kind of it's subtle, but it's really cleverly told that you have Lakshmi on one hand being very propaganda machine, trying to lead people to believe, to follow her way, but then you've, on the other hand, you've got, oh, by the way, we've got basically everyone going, shut the fuck up, Lakshmi, what are you, just shut up. And everyone's kind of going, yeah, she's clearly wrong, like, the Fallen aren't bad, the one, like, we're bad to them, they're bad to us, but they're, as a race, they're not actually wrong. And then you've got Saint's one is really well done, in that Saint always saw the Fallen as the monsters, but to the Fallen, he was the monster. And it really stops you and think, fuck, why are we fighting these? Like, because you can put that onto yourself, that the Fallen and the Hive and the Vex and the Cabal, to us, they're the bad guys, so we go kill them because we've been told they're the bad guys, go kill them. But from their point of view, we're the bad guys.
Well, this really is the thing, though, isn't it? Like if you think of the story of the Fallen or the Elixni and the Cabal, they've both been kicked out of their homes by either the Whirlwind or the Darkness in general, the Hive having invaded their planets. So, like, you've got two enemies, people who we've dealt with as enemies, who actually have a common enemy in the Hive, but we've never reached out to be their friend. We never went like, well, why are you the way you are? We just built a wall and said, fuck it, we're going to just keep killing you while you attack. And everyone did that. There was no like communication. It's just like, they look awful, they must be bad, we just shoot them in the face. And there's never been that discussion of like, well, why are you here on Earth? Why are you chasing our people? And if they had had people who talked to him to go, well, your great machine was here with us and left us, and without that, we have been powerless. And you go, oh, okay, well, maybe there's something we could do here. And I think in if you look at humans, then it's history of not talking, just going to war, and it's so well done.
Yeah.
And it's been so obvious from day one, and no one has questioned. We're just like, oh yeah, just go in and kill my 50 dregs because that's part of my bounty. But like, there has always been a narrative there that we've never questioned.
But you can transplant that into a lot of games.
Oh yeah, but no game is brave enough to challenge that. And the only other game that had challenged that narrative got universally panned last year. And we're going to do a review on it in a couple of weeks.
Universally panned? What?
Well,
it's the most successful.
Not universally if Kerry is the universe.
Regardless of, like, and this is jumping into next week quickly. Regardless of how I personally feel about it, or you personally feel about it, or even how Dill, who loved it and personally feels about it, it is one of the most. Sorry, it is the most successful game of all time. Yeah. The most awarded game of all time, regardless of how you feel about it. But yes, I do.
It's universally divisive.
It's very divisive. It is. Like,
100%.
It is. But they did approach that very, very well. And mild spoilers for next week's discussion. But they did approach very well, where they, for 15 or 16 hours, you're like, I'm the good person, you're the bad person. And then it flips it on you and makes you think, wait, am I the... Where was I the good person? Bad guys? It's like... And at the end of it, I don't think anyone is really in the right in that game. But bringing it back to Destiny, it is very... If we all tried to be a little bit better...
It's very
all... Yeah. Bye, Dylan.
Okay.
Dill hit the wrong button.
All I heard was, it's like, and then nothing. And I turned around to see the broadband box, and it's fine. I was like, okay.
You hit the wrong button. Anyway, sorry, Steve, go on.
It's very easy in a video game to fall into that, like, oh, alien must be bad. I'm human. I killed him. So to bring in that narrative of like, well, actually, you know, this happens in the real world. Well, but this happens in the real world. Like, people do see others' skin color as an alien object and treating that. And I think just the way they've done it is so powerful. And in a video game of all fucking things, where our main objective is to, like, we're still going around killing these fuckers over and over again anyway. But like,
it humanizes them, though.
Yeah. I really think over the last 10 years or 15 years especially, video games have really caught up with other forms of media in a lot of ways. So in terms of cinema, it's really caught up in terms of the way it looks and the way it feels and the technology that's there to create these experiences. But it's really caught up with other forms of literature or media in telling these stories. That the way video games now, they're not just, go shoot thing, go kick football. Like, they're telling stories. And they're telling stories in really immersive ways that other forms of media can't get. You go watch a movie, you're watching the movie. You're not in the movie. Or you read the book, you're not actually in the book, you're just reading the words that are... Now, I know you get the feeling when you're in the book that it is in the first person, you are that. But you're still not in it. When you're playing a video game, you're not in it. But you're deciding what those actions are.
Mm-hmm.
And... yeah. You get where I'm going with it. You decide what those actions are. And those actions... I think the likes of BioWare really got into this a lot earlier than other ones, with the likes of Mass Effect. Or Bethesda were very good at it in Fallout or in Oblivion. Where you make a decision, you have to live with those consequences. And I think a lot of other games are catching up in really smart and innovative and narratively driven ways. And I think this season has been Bungie's nailed it this season with how they're telling it.
Yeah.
They really are. So kudos to them. Kudos to them.
And hopefully this is the
the
standard from now on. Like it's like they've gone through all the shit to get to this stage. Let's keep the momentum going on storytelling.
They started it last season as well. Sorry.
Yeah.
Just like I said, it doesn't necessarily need to be the content that they're telling. Just it's how they tell it.
Yes.
That's
But
like we're saying, they introduce
having
big
the
bads
content
every
to
season.
match it.
That helps, obviously.
It helps a lot. Like they started it last season with Keitel, in that they said, well, this is a Cabal, she's Callus's daughter, and she's not all that bad. And now this season they've gone really into it with Mid-Tractor. It's like, he's not all that bad, but are we a little bit bad?
Yeah.
Maybe?
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, other than that, I think the season of the Splicer was excellent by itself. Obviously, it needed to be propped up with some form of endgame activity. And what better endgame activity was there than the Vault of Glass to go alongside all this? Being back in there has been fantastic. It's been a bit too easy since day one rolled past us, which is something we spoke about already. The master version is coming in 2 weeks, I think. So I'm really looking forward.
Nice.
Yeah, I think it's 2 weeks away, 2 or 3 weeks. But I really hope that the master version can hold a challenge after day one. I don't know how they may manage it. There's multiple different ways. But I hope it's not a case of, oh, we finished it. Oh, these ads don't hurt me anymore. So hopefully.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to it though. And before we touch on the news quickly, have you guys any other comments or observations to make about Season of the Splicer?
No, like storytelling's great. The seasonal activity is great. There's enough immersion that you feel like you're not missing out if you don't put X amount of hours in. Cons, like you said, are the seasonal, what are they called, challenges or weekly challenges and stuff. Bit grindy. The level grind, like every season, it's just what's the point in doing it if the culmination isn't a raid or isn't a dungeon? But yeah, it's the best season to me since they've launched seasons. Apart from season of the Drifter, because that's when we got Gamba Prime, and Gamba Prime is class.
Agreed. Fully agreed. Apart from your last statement.
Yeah, hard to disagree on that.
Gamba Prime's class is a shit.
I just can't stop praising them for the storytelling this season, not just in terms of main narrative, but what's going on in the background. I think, okay, I hope that in the future we get more immersion in the world as it develops. So like, I know you were saying, oh, maybe next week we'll start getting some voiceovers for what's happening with Taking Blights, or maybe we'll find out because we're Sacred Splicers or getting that way, we're more attuned to it. But I think when the world evolves, as the story evolves and the world is evolving, the narration needs to evolve with it. And even if it's just one or two voice actors, like I know there's probably about 100 NPCs in the tower, but like just having a few bits happening somewhere, you go, oh yeah, like that's happening. Or even having like Lakshmi's, like her voiceovers happening through the tower PA system, so you hear it once in the helm, but just having it repeating every so often, like the way you get the Deepstone Lullaby in orbit every so often.
Yeah, that's a great.
Just having that playing every so often, where you're going, oh yeah, she is actually putting this out every so often. I'd love to see them that to be their next step. They're doing great this season. Build upon it. I'd love that. I think that would just make the world much better. But look, it's all everything for me, bar the usual things you give out about Destiny, has been great. So I love it.
I think one thing
always going to have those gripes, aren't we? That's the main.
Yeah,
of course.
It's just the style of game.
However, I think it's the most successful of that style of game. So
there's
been a lot of failures in this style of game. More failures than successes. So they're clearly doing something right, and long may it last.
100%.
I think one thing we kind of touched on. I'm giving myself a great segue here, just so you know. One thing we kind of touched on, the gear this season has been excellent as well. Like there's been a couple of gear sets dropping obviously the raid sets, and we're getting another raid set soon. There's been a lot of good guns. And we're about to get some more guns, which was announced in the 12 there a while ago. More reprised guns. So they mentioned this a few months ago. We're swapping over to news. Look at this for a segue. So the Moon weapons and the Dreaming City weapons are due to come back on the 6th of July, which is 2 weeks away. Tuesday 2 weeks away, or Tuesday 1 week. Tuesday a week and a half away. So they're coming back with new perks. Before I go any further, I will stream this to you guys real quickly so you can see what I'm showing. So all the Moon weapons are all getting new perks. Lead Lullaby's getting Tunnel Vision, and Malt Step's getting Trench Barrel. Interesting. Some changes there. Tiger Spite's coming back. Tiger Spite was a fantastic AOR back in...
that wasn't it? Dreaming City days.
What was that called? That expansion?
Forsaken.
Forsaken. And Twilight Oath is coming back with a very interesting perk. That's the sniper coming back with Vorpal. So, can I just say, by the way, like, the Dreaming City weapons are some of the nicest weapons they've designed.
I want Shattering Bone back.
They're stunning. They look like they're made from the bones of an Ahamkara. Like, these are stunning. There wasn't a whole lot else in the 12 apart from that. Iron Banner's back next week. Some updates on issues. Won't get bogged down in them. And then movie of the week and shit. But that was the big thing this week, was we're getting more gear, which is great. Like, I know in previous seasons we've complained about the lack of gear. So the fact that we're getting... I know it's reprised gear. It's not brand new stuff. It's reprised gear, but it's still new stuff to go... More stuff to go get. And it's dropping in the middle of the season, which is kind of nice.
It is kind of bittersweet, though, with the reintroduction of gear. That's the
only thing. It is, but we are also getting more Vault of Glass gear for the Master mode, so at least we're getting new stuff as well as old stuff. Yeah, so it's
that's... It's like the story.
It's
great when that complements it, and it's not, this is all you're getting.
The other bit of news, I didn't really pay attention to much news this week. I've been quite busy. But the big news came today, and it was about Windows 11. I won't get too bogged down in the Windows 11 stuff. It's free if you have Windows 10, which is a free upgrade. It's great. The beta for that, I think, gets pushed fairly shortly. I think next week, I think it is. But this was all Phil Spencer, Sarah Bond, correct myself. Sarah Bond is talking about why it's going to be the best ever Windows for gaming. So auto HDR is going to be built in. If you have an NVMe SSD, you got a thing called direct storage, and that basically works the same as the PS5's SSD or the Xbox Series X's SSD, in that games are going to load super fucking quickly running off that NVMe SSD. So if you don't own an NVMe SSD, it's probably time to go invest in one. I probably regret not buying a second one on Prime Day. Anyway, that's really good, but that's going to make a huge difference for stuff. Like, stuff's going to load so fast. Announced Game Pass is just Game Pass for PC. It includes PC games from Xbox Game Studios and Bethesda on the day they launch. You also get an EA Play membership at no additional cost. Xbox xCloud is going to be launched through browsers, but also through the new Xbox app, which is fantastic. It means you can run next-gen games such as Halo Infinite, Starfield, etc. through a cloud on your most basic of fucking PCs or laptops or MacBooks. And if you've been following the improvements of Game Pass or of xCloud, it's come a long way in a short period of time, and it's only going to improve. Xbox.
That was only announced last year, wasn't it? It was last year's E3. Wasn't it?
Went into beta last year, I think it was.
Like, that's very quick in terms of the gaming industry.
Yeah, like I was showing Steven clips yesterday from, I think it was Jez Corden on Twitter, was playing Nier Automata on xCloud. And Nier's a game you need to have quick reactions in. And he was playing it with minimal input delay at 60 FPS through a web browser. and that's just kind of it's just kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's possible.
Yeah,
with zero latency, like.
Yeah, it's insane. Like there's a little bit of hitching and stuff, but that'll only be improved even more over time. Obviously, this technology is still in its infancy, but it's only getting better over time. One thing they kind of touched on as well with Windows 11 was that the Windows Store or Xbox Store is also getting Android apps, which is great. That you can play all those games legitimately on the Xbox app without having to have BlueStacks. The big thing there being that developers will keep 100% of the purchases from that, which is fantastic. Yeah,
it's just another platform for them on a kind of portable device. Yeah,
exactly. So if you haven't read up on Windows 11 yet, go read up on it, because it's pretty fantastic what Microsoft and Xbox are doing. They need to chill the fuck out. They really do.
Yeah, I watched a quick video on it today. I think it was just a breakdown of features and stuff for that, and it looked very Apple-y, like in terms of kind of it's real next generation kind of looks. But yeah, it's cool. A lot of quality of life stuff that I wouldn't even think about, but it's nice to see.
And it's free.
And it's free.
If you own Windows 10, it's free. It's a free upgrade to
own Windows 10.
You can't really complain.
Yeah, it's like, do I own Windows 10?
See, I couldn't find the answer. I upgraded from Windows 7 to Windows 10. So
did you buy Windows 7?
No.
Well, then you don't own it.
But I have the product key for it.
Where did you get the product key?
From a friend.
Oh, well, then you're fine.
Yeah, like look,
if you don't have the big watermark on your screen, you're
no, good. I don't. Dylan may have got from the assembly, but like if I have to end up buying Windows 11, I don't care. I'll buy it because it's The big thing for me was they basically said, if you own a high enough end PC, here's a free Xbox Series X. It'll take up no space in your living room. You don't need anything new. We'll just put it inside your PC for free. No strings attached. Like, that's basically what they've done. They basically said, if you own a high-end PC that you've spent €1,500 on or €2,000 on, here's a free Xbox Series X. Free of charge on us. It's on us.
GeForce
like,
now.
It's insane. Like, I can't get over it. They've basically given us all a free Xbox Series X just for being on a Windows platform. Like, it's incredible. Like,
partnership.
The part I don't understand was, why wasn't this also at E3? Like, if they had announced the Windows 11 stuff before E3, even if it was a day or two, and then Xbox had to come into E3 with everything they already showed, and then had a little 5-minute segment where Sarah Bond went, here's what Xbox is getting with Windows 11. Bam, 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 bam. It would have just been like, best conference ever. You guys fucking killed it.
Maybe they just didn't want to be the best conference ever.
Somebody forgot to sign the papers, and they couldn't push it out.
It got stuck in the printer that day.
Yeah.
Well, it's just insane. Like, just... Yeah, they've basically just given everyone free Xbox
for everybody.
Everybody. Like...
Yeah. But this is what you and I were saying before, Kev. Like, Xbox aren't concerned about...
Yeah, that's
you
I was going to say
console.
that, yeah. The console war's dead.
They want you in their ecosystem.
Yeah, the console war's dead because it doesn't exist.
Yeah, there's one console and one gaming ecosystem.
Yeah. No, and by the way, for what it's worth, what PlayStation do and what PlayStation provide to us is a fantastic ecosystem in itself. But what Xbox are doing, it's just like, why are you doing this? What's the catch? It's like, what's the catch?
Pro-consumer. You're kind of like, why? What did we do to deserve this treatment? What data are you harvesting?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I see you.
insane.
It just pops up on your screen.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
It's
Playing
just
Forza Horizon.
I don't get it. I don't understand why they are doing what they are doing, because it's so good for us. Don't get me wrong, it's gonna make them a shit ton of money. I'm not blind to that. They are doing this for themselves before us, but we are benefiting from what they are doing in incredible ways. So hats off Phil Spencer and Xbox and Microsoft. Keep doing what you're doing.
If you think about it as well, like, so you get all the kids whose parents buy them a Windows laptop and it's shit and it will never run a game in its life. You now have Windows 11 with a built-in Xbox using just xCloud alone. You have an access to a library of games you can never play. So insane. You're now paying 15 quid a month that you would have never paid before to game on your laptop. That has no right to play fucking games, but it is. Like, so they've just expanded their market to a huge proportion. Like, it makes so much sense from their business strategy that they invest in this and make it work, because their market has gone from, we'll say 10% of PC owners to 100%. There's 100% of PC owners there now who can play games, who can benefit from xCloud.
And the next step, Xbox app. And the next step is going to be, you own a television. Oh, let me tell you what I got for you. So it's basically,
you have mobile phones, right?
Yeah. You own a smart fridge, huh?
Oh, I hear Todd Howard somewhere. Jesus, Skyrim.
Yeah, it's fun. And don't get me wrong, like, Microsoft are doing what puts money in their pockets, and Xbox are doing what puts money in their pockets. There's no question about that. They're a business. They're gonna do that. But for them to do something that benefits the consumer as much as they have been, it's just like, you guys need to cool the jets. You're gonna, like, you're spoiling us now. We're gonna be like Dudley Dorsey. But last year.
I had 36 presents. Yeah. It's you're being spoiled when you get into the stage where, like, I want this on my Switch. I want this on my PlayStation. It's not good enough that it's just on my PC anymore.
But the crazy thing is, you're not going to need those things to do this.
No, I know.
Like, you're not going to need the hardware. You'll be able to just do it on one of these.
Yeah.
But you already can, but it'll be far more.
The future is a USB-sized fucking console. That's all it is. Just has the apps. You're playing
the future's going to be an app
on your phone.
On your telly.
Yeah, an app on your telly. Sorry, yeah.
It's insane. Like, I still think consoles will still have a place, because you'll be able to pump out the highest end graphics, the highest of everything. But if it's in a situation, by the time next generation, so PlayStation 6 or the Xbox Series Omega rolls around, give you that one for free, Phil.
It's Omega.
But by the time they roll around, it's going to be a case of, oh shit, I can't get a PlayStation 6 for 6 months because they're sold out. Well, you can just play our games through your telly anyway, and then you get it's what's going to happen. And
it really cuts down on manufacturing, distribution, all that kind of stuff.
And you really just have to look at Google Stadia and think, what the hell were you thinking?
It was so simple. How could you fuck it up?
Yeah, it was like, look at what these guys did, and then look at what you guys did. You fucking idiots.
They wanted to charge you to have the USB stick, to have the service, and then you have to buy your games again, but it's not cross-save. So if you have a 60 quid game on your PC, you have to buy that 60 quid game again on Stadia.
And if your subscription runs out, you can't access the game you paid for.
Even though you've paid full price for this game. No, sorry. You're asking for too much.
But didn't it also happen that Google Stadia didn't work on the latest Chromecasts that they released?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was so...
It was just a shit show from the get-go.
It's just something you wouldn't expect from a company this guy's at Google, but they've done it so many times.
Really?
You're not surprised. Yeah. They've done it so many times with tech.
It's always when the high-end people want to get involved that it's like Amazon with movies and games and stuff. It's like, you think on paper this is perfect, but in reality, it's like they're trying to Justice League it. They're trying to catch up, or DC.
But
DC
what Microsoft have done, they've seen what Google have tried to do. They've seen what Amazon have wanted to do. And with their experience of 20, 30 years in the games industry, they've gone, we have the knowledge of how it works. We see what you're trying to do. Here's what we're going to do. And it just blows them both out of the water. It kills them before they're born. It kills them before they even get up and running. It's Microsoft have just beaten Amazon.
It's setting the bar.
Yeah, it is. So I'm excited to see how Sony and PlayStation respond. I don't think we'll see a response from them in the short term because what they're doing is still super successful and it will continue to be super successful. But I am interested to see what they do next.
One thing that they're doing, and I hope it's true, the rumor today about
Hideo Kojima is God.
A rumor came out this afternoon about the next iteration of Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh.
So the rumor is that it's called Ghost of Ikishima or whatever way you pronounce it, and butchering that. And it's what Miles Morales was to Spider-Man. It's a
That's
standalone.
Interesting.
In the same universe, but it's a standalone. Not as long as the main game, but and if that gets announced at the next PlayStation event, that would be fucking huge.
That's
like, how soon is that? That's a year after.
Well, Sucker Punch games are fucking stupidly good.
But to deliver something of that high quality,
I'm gonna ask two things. A, can you put that link to that rumor in Discord so I can link it in the description?
Yeah.
Beneath that like and subscribe button. And also, it was also rumored this week that Ghost of Tsushima is coming to PlayStation or to PC. So that would line up quite well if there is a new story or a new game or a new expansion, whatever you want to call it, coming to Ghost of Tsushima. It would line up with PlayStation's current business model of releasing a game on PC before the sequel gets announced. Horizon Zero Dawn came to PC, expanded the audience. Horizon Forbidden West is coming out. Ghost of Tsushima, it's coming to PC, and also we're making a new game or whatever you want to call it, a standalone adventure. So hopefully
there's two separate sources.
Sure, still thanks. I'll put that in the description below.
Yeah, like that would be huge. I'd be all over that. Like,
and that's something I was actually now that you have a PlayStation 5 and Ghost of Tsushima has a lovely PS5 upgrade. There's 3 of us. We only needed 1 more
for the raid.
Have
you played the story yet?
No,
I need to complete it.
I was waiting until it came to PS5 because I knew it'd get an upgrade, and then I just never did it. It's installed. Okay. I just haven't played it.
Such a beautiful game.
Yeah.
It
is. It really is.
Hi OLED. Yeah, it's very near the top of my my backlog of shame. At this rate, we'll be able to do another one of those. But yeah, as always, all the new stuff will be down there. So if you want to see where we got them from, the sources are down there. We didn't. Is this? I'll also actually, seeing as I spoke about it at length, I'll link the Reddit post of all the compiled blue box games.
Blue box whispers.
Yeah. I'll link all that down below as well. More people. If people want to click into it and read it, it's quite an interesting read. Abandoned is out today, so I'm not gonna play it personally because I'm a little bitch, but I will.
It's not out.
No,
the teaser's out.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The teaser, like the app for it.
Yeah, which is just a trailer.
No, it's not a trailer. It's an app that's gonna have trailers and gameplay reveals inside of it. It's the most Hideo Kojima thing you've ever heard of in your life, but it's not by him apparently. But yeah, that's probably us for this week. Unless you guys have anything you want to talk about, I am going to try out my OLED over the weekend in depth because I have a HDMI I'll have 2 HDMIs that are the high speed 4K 120 Hz ones. One's gonna be nice and short and use to plug into my PS5. One's gonna come the whole way over here to Cyberpunk. I can't wait to see what it looks like, because DLSS 2.2 got released as well. That's the news I forgot. DLS 2.2 got released in Rainbow Six Siege. People could hack into it and put that into Cyberpunk, and apparently it's fantastic and improves frame rates. But yes, that's me for this week.
That would be nice.
See ya. I won't see you next week. I'll see you a bit before then if me and Steven do our thing over the weekend.
Oh yeah, you guys are doing the
maybe Monday.
INTERmission.
It might be released Monday or Tuesday maybe.
I'm on annual leave Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so...
Well, I was going to suggest maybe we try record it on Sunday evening or Monday evening, and then it will be out either Monday or Tuesday. I prefer to release it on Monday for those interested, because it's kind of halfway between the two episodes then. But yeah, we'll chat about it. We'll chat about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's from me. Thank you for listening to me talk.
Also, this is the first time we've done the podcast and it's gone into a new day. We've officially been doing this over
it's
2
a new
days
dawn.
now.
It's a new day. It's a new... I'm not feeling good though. I'm exhausted. I'm wrecked. I did... what was it? 700 calorie burn and workout, and I haven't had dinner after it, so I'm getting sleep. Like, look at these bags. They're not just because I'm old. So yeah, when you wrap it up, thanks for listening. Dill did 40 minutes all for himself on what he did this week. We'll talk about that.
So I don't need to speak anymore. So Steven's gonna sign us off this week.
I wrapped up last week, motherfucker.
I'll wrap up. Thanks for listening. We appreciate you if you're still following us. Tell your friends, tell your parents, tell your dog, whoever. Love you lots, and we'll see you next week. Twice. Probably.
Bye.
Yeah, you will.
Peace.
Not me, just
See ya.